All right, 10th graders. So this is your new vocab for lesson 27, where we are going to work with comparisons. So comparing things and or people using adjectives, and also comparing the way actions are done using adverbs. So most of these words you'll probably see that they are review. So that's a good thing. Okay, I'm going to go over them. I know you might feel silly, but I would strongly suggest you go somewhere where nobody can hear you and repeat these words after me. Unless it's pointed out, these adjectives are regular adjectives where you would simply add an E to make it feminine. Otherwise, the feminine form will be indicated as I pull them up. And then after this, I will walk you through how we compare people and things based on an adjective and how we compare actions with an adverb. So let's go strong. Fort, forte. All right, so the connection here is like a fortress. So we build a fort to solidify or strengthen a village or a city. Weak, faible. Okay, so this is one of those adjectives that already ends with an E, so we don't need to do anything to make it feminine. And if you've ever heard of the word feeble, which is a synonym for weak, that's where the connection would be. Nice, gentil, gentille. All right, so we have to double the LE to make it feminine here. Mean, méchant, méchante. Warm or hot, chaud, chaude. Cold, froid, froide. Easy, facile. And think of the word to facilitate, okay? Difficult, kind of a cognate here, difficile. Fast, rapide. Slow, lent. Léger, oh, sorry, light. This is an irregular one. Léger, légère. So notice how we did go ahead and add an E to make it feminine, but we also needed to add an accent grave on that E before the R. Heavy, lourd, lourde. Expensive, cher, cher. Again, E consonant E, so accent grave on that first E. Inexpensive, bon marché. And this one does not have a feminine version of it. It's one of those really weird adjectives that does not have a feminine version. Useful, utile. So think of the word to utilize, to use. Useless, inutile. And now for our adverbs, we have early, tôt. Late is tard. Fast is vite. Slowly, lentement. And this is one of those adverbs that was formed the same way we learned to form last week, right? By taking the feminine form of an adjective and adding ment. And one last one, for a long time, longtemps. All right. So you will need these adjectives and these adverbs to complete some of this week's assignments. Okay, so make sure you come back and refer to this as a resource. Now, going over comparison. So when we compare two things or two people based on a quality or an adjective, we actually did this back in 8th grade. I believe you were asked to pick two things or two sports or two foods and conduct a little survey amongst your peers. And then you've created like graphs. So It's sort of review, but it's been a while. Okay, so I'm going to go over the uh, different components on how to compare two things or people. So the first component is the person or the thing you're comparing to. Okay. Then you're going to bring in your verb. And when you're comparing people or things based on adjectives, you want to compare them using the verb être. So you're going to conjugate that verb être with that person or that thing. Then you're going to let me know, is that person or thing more than, as much as, or less than the other person or thing you're comparing it to? All right. Then, of course, you need an adjective. What quality are you comparing these two people or things on? Okay. And it's going to be followed by que, which is our than, T-H-A-N. And the last piece of it is who are you comparing or what are you comparing this first person or thing to? All right. So, one thing you have to keep in mind is that sometimes comparisons are going to be subjective and they're going to be based on opinions, and sometimes comparisons are going to be objective and they're going to be based on facts. And I believe you will be coming across both of those types of comparisons in your assignments this week. Okay, so here's an example of a comparison based on an opinion. If you wanted to compare art class to phys ed class based on the adjective fun, well, you could have one of three opinions on that. If you think that art class is more fun than phys ed class, you would express it as follow. La classe d'art est plus amusante que la classe d'éducation physique. So you see here, it's all color-coded for you. So we're comparing what? La classe d'art. We have our verb être here conjugated with la classe d'art, taking the form of est. It's more fun than, so we're going to use plus. Okay, more what? More fun. So here's my adjective for fun. Remember that your adjective has to agree with the first thing. Okay, because what is more fun? La classe d'art. So since here la classe d'art is a feminine singular thing, we're going to make sure that our adjective is also feminine singular. So it just happens here that both items or both things that we're comparing are feminine singular, but it could have been something masculine here. So just make sure that your adjective agrees with the first person or thing, okay, and gender and number. Then we need our then, okay, and then what? La classe d'éducation physique. So you're comparing la classe d'art to la classe d'éducation physique. You could also think that art class is as fun as phys ed class, and you would express it that way. La classe d'art est aussi amusante que la classe d'éducation physique. So the only thing that changes here is your comparative. Okay, we went from more than to as much as. And finally, the last opinion that you could have is that art class is less fun than phys ed class. And again, the only thing you would change is your comparative expression here. La classe d'art est moins amusante que la classe d'éducation physique. All right, so that's how you compare two people or two things using an adjective. Okay, so now we're scaffolding. We're going to compare actions and how we do things using adverbs. Okay, so the components are a little bit different for this one, but not too much. You need your subject, okay? Then you need your verb, which is the action that you're basing the comparison on. Then here are three comparative expression, plus, aussi, moins. And then you're going to bring in your adverb, okay? And of course your que, which is our then, T-H-A-N. And then the last component, the person or thing you're comparing the action to and the way it's done. So for example, if we want to compare how fast I run compared to my friend, okay? My subject is je, and my verb would be to run. And then there's three ways, right, that I can express this. If I run faster than my friend, I would say je fais du jogging plus vite que mon ami. Okay, so again, color coded, right? I'm comparing myself to my friend. So je, what is it that I do? Jogging or running. Je fais du jogging. So I conjugated my verb with my subject. How do I jog or run? Faster or more fast than. Okay, we don't say more fast in English, but that's how we say it in French. Vite is my adverb, and that describes how I jog. And then que mon ami. So I'm comparing myself to my friend. If I was to run as fast as my friend, again, the only thing that's going to change is my comparative expression. Je fais du jogging aussi vite que mon ami. Okay, so I run as fast as my friend. And if I were to run less fast than my friend, I would say je fais du jogging moins vite que mon ami. Okay, so a little bit different components here. So the verb is not going to be être, it's going to be an action verb. Okay. I mean, I guess it could be être if you're comparing the way you are to somebody else. Your subject is not always going to be je, it could be any subject. Okay, your comparative expressions are the same. And here we put an adverb instead of an adjective, and we're still comparing our subject to a person or a thing. So this is a little bit new. You're going to get some practice with that. Of course, if you have questions, feel free to call, email, text. I'm here to help you. And hopefully these little videos help you. But if not, I can also video chat with you one-on-one, or if a few of you are having problems with this, we could host a little help session. All right, so good luck.